Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading for August 2023. So this month, you guys are going through a lot of growth and expansion in many areas of your life because it's really your identity that is growing and expanding. And because you feel this internally, you feel ready to go, you feel like you're ready to move on to the next phase, but it's like your environment hasn't really got the memo. It's like you're still stuck no matter what you do. You feel like you have been putting in a lot of effort and you feel like you deserve to be paid more, you deserve to be making more, or you deserve to have your projects really take root. It seems like you've been working on things for so long and they're just not taking root, they're not taking hold. And on top of that, you feel like the people around you don't really treat you fairly. You feel like you're not getting the money you deserve, you're not getting the reciprocity you feel you deserve for your efforts. And you're really in this space where you feel this want to create something. You feel that your life can't stay the way it is anymore. You're feeling dissatisfied. You're feeling like you want more, but you don't know how to get there. It's like you're trying to do all these things, but your environment doesn't seem to be reciprocating your efforts. And this can cause you to feel frustrated with others, frustrated in your social settings, and also frustrated with yourself, where you're wondering what's the point to work on things, or are things ever going to take off? It's like you're in this standstill, and it can create a lot of inner criticism. It can create a lot of conflict in your relationships because you're frustrated with where you're at. Even if they don't realize it, you're frustrated with feeling like you deserve more, and the other people around you might not realize that. And it can create a lot of conflict. It can create a sense of feeling defeated. And it can also create this kind of analysis paralysis where you do have a lot of creative energy, but because this criticism and frustration takes over, it keeps you holding on to the same place you're at, mentally and emotionally. And so when you feel stagnant, you create this self-doubt, you create this criticism and this frustration, and then you burn yourself out and you feel like, what's the point of doing anything? I just want to relax. Like, you get overwhelmed with the options, you get overwhelmed with the fact that you've been trying to do things and they're not going anywhere, and why aren't they going anywhere? So Now, the reason things feel stuck like this. First of all, we should get this out of the way. If you are feeling like in your work or in your relationships, you are not being properly compensated or the relationships don't feel reciprocal, you should speak up about it. People don't know what you want or need unless you tell them. They're not going to be able to pick up on these cues. All that people can really sense is that you're frustrated and you're disappointed, and it's affecting your environment and it's affecting everyone around you, but they don't understand. They don't have the perception to know that what they're doing is not what you think is fair compensation, or what you think is the effort they should be putting in the project. You have to be clear about how you want things to go, what you want, and why you want them to go this way. People don't really know this, and you can sit there and build resentment and frustration for people when you feel like you're being treated unfairly, but the people really don't know that they're treating you unfairly. They just feel this frustration and this tension, and everybody is experiencing this frustration and tension. Everyone's going through their own thing right now. So if you do feel like you are being slighted in this way, it's not personal. People just don't understand where anybody is coming from. You really have to be clear about what you want and what you feel you deserve and move forward in that way. So that's one thing that can come up here. But the main thing that I want to talk about in this reading, and the reason that things feel so stagnant and they feel like you are kind of in this limbo where you feel that you need more, you feel that you're like destined for more, and you're growing and expanding, but it's like nothing's really taking off. And things won't really until this Venus retrograde is over. But during this time, it's a time for you to reassess how, because you are growing and changing, how you allow your past to affect who you are now and affect what you believe that you are capable of now, or how your expectations of yourself in the past and what you thought you should be in the past, how that is being reflected in your environment now. Because you're growing and changing at a rapid rate, but what keeps you from putting yourself out there and expanding is being tied to the past in some way, whether that is a belief system that was taught to you about what you can and cannot do, what you can't earn, what you can accomplish, or if it's a perception you put onto yourself, like, this is what people expect of me, this is how I've learned to do things. In the past, this was what got me appreciation. This is what allowed me to mingle well in social groups. This is what allowed me to get so far in my career or in my friendships, whatever it is. But you're not that person anymore. So you can't project those expectations onto the person you're trying to become. You're trying to move into a new chapter of your life, but with the perceptions of who you were before, if that makes sense. Or thinking that maybe if something bad or harsh has happened in the past, that thinking that that might play out again, and whatever you do might not work out because of something that happened in the past. So this is all about letting go of the past and really reevaluating where your perceptions of yourself, where your value for yourself and your strength comes from, out of the belief systems of the past, out of your family, out of your ancestral line, out of things that you were taught, or generational trauma, or things that happened to you when you were a child growing up, or things that are even currently manifested in your current environment, in your current family situations, in your home. How do you care for your home? These kind of things. All of this is what's keeping you stagnant here, and it's the attachment to these things that is keeping you from truly moving forward. You might feel like you're doing a lot, you might feel like you're really pushing forward, but there is something from your past that needs to be let go of in order to truly move forward. There is forgiveness that needs to happen there. There is not forgiveness for others necessarily, but forgiveness for yourself. Holding space for yourself to allow yourself to move on from the past, to allow yourself to make that leap forward and not be so tied down, and be willing to let go of the attachments and be willing to make room for this change. Not everything can come with you here. And, there's a lot of belief systems, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of these types of things that are holding you back from your real strength and courage, and holding you back from your ability to hold space for yourself. So you feel like you're doing all these things and you're moving forward, but really are, you feel like you're doing all these things, but really, I apologize for my cat scratching, but you're doing all this stuff and you're like, why isn't it getting me anywhere? But in reality, you are subconsciously, energetically, in some way, binded to the past still, because you still want to live in the projections of past experiences, past beliefs, and things like this. And that's what's really keeping you stuck. Everything is there to set you up to move forward, to allow you to break out of this cycle and move into your growth and expansion, and move into the next chapter of your life and free up this creativity and really get things moving forward. But you have to first hold the space for yourself, to have that emotional space to forgive yourself, forgive others, move on from the past, not try to take everything with you. Not everything can come with you. And when you are trying to move on from this, it can feel like you're giving up everything, but you're not. And so the past is like an anchor tied to you right now. And you're really being asked to look at how these things in the past have shaped your belief systems, and how what you believe and what kind of perceptions you have about yourself are actually real, or are they just rooted in something that is a generational trauma, an ancestral trauma, a belief system, or something that happened in your childhood? Are these really real perceptions? Are these things really necessary to take with you? And this could not only be just belief systems, but people, um, memories, like feeling like you need to hold on to this past self and like you have to take that with you. But the truth is, you're growing and expanding out of that, and you can't take everything with you. You can only take what is meant to come on this journey. And when you're willing to set yourself free from that perception of the past, expectation of the past, or these belief systems and perceptions and limitations from the past, you'll find a lot of these situations where you do feel are unfair and things like this, you are able to move out of them quickly because you have a new sense of courage and a new way of holding that emotional space for yourself because you're finally able to move forward. A lot of this frustration and imbalance comes from having that anchor of the past tied to you in some way. So when you can move forward and find out what that is and regain your strength and regain your courage and regain your sense of self and your identity outside of the perceptions of the past, that's when things will start moving and they will move forward in a really exciting way. But it's just a matter of moving through that illusion that is caused by whatever has happened to the past or whatever you're attached to in the past that is not allowing you to move forward. And a lot of, again, going back to this being treated unfairly, for some of you, that can really just be you expecting the past to change when it's not going to change. It's you who is changing, and it's you who has to let go of these things and really see what's worth taking with you, what's a valuable lesson, what has given you strength, and go from there. But moving forward requires releasing this anchor of the past and holding emotional space for yourself. All right, guys, that's what I had for you. Thank you for watching. If you would like a personal reading, it will be in the description below. And I will see you next time.